Hey, this is Andy Hodges with Sebastian Daily. We're live right now on 510. This is the aftermath of Hurricane Irma in Sebastian, Florida. We just passed the Sebastian River High School, and we're coming up here on 512. In case you hear any animals on this video, we have our cats with us, and they don't like driving in the car, so we've got 4 cats crying in the background, and everything looks good so far from what we can see. Last night we did a couple of videos on Indian River Drive, and from what we saw last night, everything was good. We didn't see any structural damages or nothing like that. We just saw a lot of tree limbs down and just minor stuff like that. The storm surge, from what I heard, was bad, but not as bad as Hurricane Francis and Hurricane Jean. We are told that all bridges in Indian River County are still closed at this hour. In fact, I don't even know what time it is right now. We've been up most of the night. It's 10 till 8 a.m. So at this time, all bridges are still closed in Indian River County. Police are also advising that people wait a few hours until they clear the roads. But as you can tell, even on County Road 512, which is what we're on right now, there isn't a lot of problems. We did see last night the Sebastian Police Department. They were clearing the roads in the middle of the rain, actually. You can see that video on our Facebook page of officers actually clearing the roads even before the worst of the storm hit last night. So we thought that was really cool. But again, Indian River Drive looked great last night. This morning we got reports saying it still looks good. No structural damages, nothing like that. We're now passing one residential neighborhood. Everything looks good. There's some flooding going on right now in Vero Lake Estates, which is West Sebastian, as well as Fellsmere. They're reporting some flooding out there. But we were actually out at Vero Lake Estates and had a hard time leaving because of the flooding. And so right now there seems to be a lot of people out. Stores are still closed, so I wouldn't come out and expect to find anything open. We're coming up right now to Cumberland Farms on 512. We're gonna check out and see if they're open. I doubt it. But I mean, this is the aftermath, and the storm's pretty much done. The skies are breaking. They got the sunrise coming up, and everyone's in good spirits. These buildings are good, and here comes the Cumberland Farms. They are closed. No structural damage. I know that one of our viewers, he's either an investor of this Cumberland Farms or owns it, but he was watching us last night and was asking about it. And if he's watching right now, you can see that your store is looking good. The pizza place, they're open. Looks like they might even be taking the boards down. I wouldn't do that yet until we find out what's going on with Hurricane Jose. But the Giuseppe's we just passed, they said that they were going to be open on Friday. But I would imagine once power is restored to most of these businesses, they're going to want to open. We're not sure if that was last Friday or this Friday, but here's the Taco Mac, and they said they're open, but they can't be because there's no power. We're coming up to the strike zone. Well, it looks like the sign on the strike zone is blown, but you know, that's a minor issue. The sign right there, right off 512, the whole sign came down. But the building itself looks good. The sign is a minor thing. I mean, they can have that sign up in 10 minutes. And of course, this famous Exxon Mobil station that's been closed for about 12 years now, we're not even going to look at that. We're just going to keep... This gas station's been closed for 12 years. No one knows what they're going to do with it. But all these businesses are shuttered up still. Looks like there's business owners checking out stuff right now that are stores. But for the most part, County Road 512 looking good. The Mobil, someone asked about these mobile homes over here. They are standing strong. They are looking good. I forgot what this development is called. There's a couple of mobile homes in there. There's one right there. And they're looking good. A lot of the homes in there are looking good too. And this is still boarded up. Everything looks good. Complete Electric looks good. Everything looking good. You know, the water has really gone down in Sebastian. Speaking of Sebastian, we have a lot of power outages going on still. And on this road, you got to be careful because usually we had these barrels up just to tell you not to go on the bad pavement. They're gone because of the storm. They took them down prior to the storm. But just got to remember to stay to the right. This construction, whenever this construction ever ends, it's been going on for months now. And it looks like Highlands is open. Highlands Animal Hospital. We're not sure if they're open for the public. They could be. We don't know. There's a lot of cars out front. Sebastian Gym Fitness looks good. No issues there. Building is strong. Sebastian strong. Oh, they lost the door to their mailbox, but that's a minor thing. Mailbox is nothing to replace. And I wouldn't come out here to sightsee. There seems to be a lot of people just driving around sightseeing. There's a lot of people that just want to see what's going on. I mean, there's not much going on other than tree limbs that are down. There's Sandy's Bar and Grill. They are looking good. They didn't take any damage at all from what we can tell on the outside. Coming up on US 1. We're going to take Indian River Drive and check out what's going on there. Someone asked about Barefoot Bay. Thank God nothing happened in Barefoot Bay that we know of. We've had no reports of any tornadoes there, no damage to Barefoot Bay. There's some tree limbs down and stuff like that. From what I've been told, Barefoot Bay still has power. There are areas, I forgot which section it is, of some potential, or there was some flooding, I think, in some areas of Barefoot Bay. But for the most part, they survived. The homes in there are good. There was a rumor yesterday that a tornado took out several mobile homes in Barefoot Bay. That didn't happen. It was actually Palm Bay. It was actually Palm Bay where they took out the homes. Now you could see right here at Riverview Park, there's a lot of tree limbs down, but again, no structural damages, nothing like that. And it looks like the storm surge has receded. The water's going back down here at Indian River Drive. Yeah, the water has gone back down. The river looks normal at this point. I don't see any problem with the river. Looks completely normal. Mulligans were coming up too. We don't see any structural damage to Mulligans. Looks good. Some tree limbs down. basically, from what we can tell right now, this was just a major thunderstorm. We don't see the damage that we were, had the potential of getting from Hurricane Irma. We got some residents out off Indian River Drive, checking out their homes. From the worst damage we've seen so far on Indian River Drive is just tree branches, tree limbs down. Water's gone back down. In fact, I don't know how far the water came up, but just another indication that this storm is completely over. It's good to see the sunshine. I mean, there's no structural damages at all that we have seen. Everything looks good. Coming up on the Tiki Bar and Grill, everything's looking good. Buildings are intact. Everything looks good. We don't see any damage from what we can see. And there's the equipment that they're using to rebuild the docks here in the city of Sebastian. This is the boat ramp off Main Street. And we don't even see any damage to the docks. We just see them rebuilding what they're doing. So yeah, this is and by the way, once again, if you hear cats crying in the background, those are our cats. We got 4 cats with us. They're part of our crew. They're our weather warriors. We're coming up on Mobil Grill. Building looks great. No issues there. Earl's Hideaway, no damage from what we can tell. We don't see any issues at all with Earl's Hideaway. So these businesses along Indian River Drive look great. I mean, you can't even tell that there was a storm. Now, we don't know what is going on in the inside. There could be leaks. I mean, we don't know. But on the outside, had that storm hit us, these buildings would have been leveled. I mean, we're talking about a Category 5, hurricane. We're coming up to Krabby Bill's here. His place looks good. If he's watching right now, he'll know that his place looks good. Salty's looks good. They got power, it looks like. They got some lights in the windows that are on. But yeah, had that storm hit us, we would have been wiped. I mean, this is nothing but a strong thunderstorm. Captain Hiram's resort looks good. The hotel looks good. We don't see any structural damage. From our point of view, there's a lot of tree limbs down, but that's it. This is a miracle that we did not. Oh, by the way, someone asked earlier this morning about Oyster Point Bay. Oyster Point Bay looks good from what we saw. No problem. We're coming up on Squid Lips, and Squid Lips looks good. There is a boat sunk. A couple of boats that are sunk at the dock at Squid Lips. That's one thing about these boats, when there's a hurricane coming, you have to move your boat. It's not going to survive during a storm. And there could be other reasons. Maybe the owners couldn't get down here to get their boats, to move them. But I think I just saw. Yeah, what we probably should do is take a left up here. I'm not sure, I'm curious about US 1. The river looks good so far. Roads are good, but I wouldn't recommend just coming out here. There's a lot of police out here. A few people were worried about these homes that we just passed. We even have some mobile homes here that are standing strong. We can count our blessings. We haven't been able to go to Roseland yet. We have reports that there is minimal damage there as well. No structural damage. A lot of trees and debris in the road. But for the most part, Sebastian dodged yet another bullet. Dodging Hurricane Matthew last year and dodging Irma this year. It's been a very active hurricane season. I remember when we published the article about Irma, or the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season becoming one of the busiest in history, and most people laughed. Said, oh, they always say that every year. It's going to be busy, and then it's never busy. Well, the forecasters were right this time, because we've got, when Irma was heading our way, we had 3 active hurricanes going on at once in the Atlantic and the Gulf. And of course, Irma broke so many records this time with wind speeds and the length of time that it remained as a Category 5. It just continued to build strength. Even when after it hit Cuba, it built strength again with the warm waters. And they were saying some of those waters were 90 degrees. We just passed Arlo Guthrie's home. His home looks good. His home looks good, and but again, just trees, tree limbs, leaves, minimal debris. Right now we're getting ready to check Ialiscos. To recap real quick, Tiki and Earls is good. We didn't see any structural damages at all on Indian River Drive. Everything looked good. I thought we were on the road where Ialiscos was, but the power... Alright, we're at the Roseland and US 1 intersection, and the lights aren't working. And that's a very dangerous situation at that intersection, because that intersection's always been known to be unsafe. But if you do happen to be at that intersection, just know the lights are not working. We're on US 1 in Sebastian. We've had some reports about Schumann. A lot of people talking about Schumann. Schumann didn't have any damage from what people are talking about. Neighborhoods are still good. Homes are still good. No structural damage. So pretty much, I think, you know, it's safe to say that most of Sebastian do not have structural damage. There was something about the sand drift last night. Someone mentioned that the roof had collapsed at the sand drift, and there was a woman that was pinned, or she couldn't get out, and we don't know any updates on that matter at all. We just passed the sand drift. They have two buildings from what we can tell, but not sure if, I'm sure we're going to report on that later. We just went over the bridge. We're now in Miko. Our next stop, we're just going to